Today's video is all about the pigs. I'm going to show you the pig pen and show you the barrels that I forgot to show you last week. I apologize. We'll give you an idea of what we use for feeders, waterers, food storage. Obviously, we've already shown you a little bit of that. We'll link to that down in the video description if you missed that last one. It was 4 ways to save on pig food. In this video, we'll just talk about what our pig pen looks like and how we go about taking care of them. Okay, so as I mentioned in the last video, this is our first year with pigs. We decided to get 4 of them to try out. We bought them off of a gentleman close by that had several, and these are just kind of a mix. You can see by the coloring, they're a mixture. My plan for next year is to have my own female pig that we can either inseminate or have bred, or maybe get a, or I don't know, I haven't decided yet. We're still working on that part. But these we're just feeding out until October, the beginning of October, when they will go to the butcher. They've already got their date. But in the meantime, they have been a ton of fun to watch. Learning their little quirks. They each have their own personalities. It's been so much fun. We are coming into the warmer months, so they've really enjoyed all the mud puddles they've been able to make. If you can believe it, this was solid ground with just grass in it before. It actually used to be our garden, but we've switched and decided we were going to do the buckets because for time's sake it just became easier. Where'd you go, boys? So we took what used to be our garden and turned it into a pig pen. When we moved here, it was already here, and what it looks like, let me back up a little bit so you can see here. So all the way around the bottom you can see that there are rocks, and they are concreted in about, I almost want to say at least 6 inches, probably like a foot down. So we put the fence on the inside. You can see the posts there. We put the fence on the inside of those rocks so that when the pigs go to rooting down there, they hit rock and they stop. So we don't have the concern that most people have about them coming under the fence, because we have those panels there, and then like I said, every time that they dig down, they're going to hit the footer and the rocks down here. You can actually see where they've tried in multiple places, like right here, down here, and over there in that corner. That was all filled in with dirt, and they've dug it up and tried to get out, and yet they can't do that. So we have no worries of pig escapes, which was one of my big worries, something I really didn't want. But so from one end to the other, you can kind of see the size. I think this is roughly an 18 by 42 or 43 foot pen. So these 4 pigs have plenty of room. I actually think we could do a couple more maybe next year, especially since we are looking at doing a smaller pig. So the barrels that I mentioned before, so these barrels, the lids come off. You can actually see a handle here. I'll show you on the food one here in just a minute, but they also have these little, these they have little twist off, and we can twist those off, and these are actually full of water. I'm not sure if I can find the link, but so I found a YouTube video. Don't you mess with me, piggy. He just shucked mud all over me. Nice. Okay, so if you can see, there's water nipples on these that we were able to purchase online on Amazon. I'll link to the parts that we ordered. So this is just a water nipple for pigs, and then there's this is the part that screws into on the inside. So like I said, I'll link to those parts. And we actually did it 2 ways. We did it with silicone and without, and neither way leaks. So I don't really think you necessarily need the silicone. We have them at a couple of different heights. This is a higher one. Let's see. You can kind of tell that one over there is down a little bit lower, so that as the pigs grow, they are able to reach the water no matter what height they are. So you can just kind of see them rooting around in there. We do throw roughage, like I showed in that other video. We throw them roughage and leftover salad stuff. I'm probably covered in mud. Turn this around. Okay, so we have 2 of the waterers. We have 1 on either side of their feeder, and we're actually thinking about adding a couple more. Reason being, with those nipples higher up, you only really get as much water for them as, or the lowest nipple, I'm sorry, that they can drink from. So we have to constantly fill them up, and they do use them nonstop. They were doing it a while ago, and I missed it on camera. They learned within a day. I stuck marshmallows. Okay, probably shouldn't give your pigs marshmallows, but as a treat, sometimes I give them marshmallows. I stuck a marshmallow on the water thing, and they figured it out. The nipple, you just kind of balanced it on there. They figured it out instantly. They've been doing it every day since. And we've tried giving them buckets of water, but they will drink them down and use them to clean out their snouts, but they end up just making a huge mess, dumping them over. So, okay, so the feeders. Let's get back to the feeders. So these are the buckets that you saw us pull out of the truck last week on last week's video. So they just unclip like that and come off. I might have to get you to come help me. So I'm going to have my husband come in and show you. So these are the ones that we buy the food in bulk, and it's sitting on that pallet. And remember, the tractor pulled it off. Yeah, so that's just spring loaded, and so you pull that off, and there is their food. And you can find these at co-ops and stuff pretty cheap. It's a 3-quart little scoop, and we picked up several of these. They're $4 or $5 a piece at like a co-op, or you can get them at TSC and all kinds of stuff. And this is that food. So it's just a mixture, you can see, of a protein grain and corn. So, but we've been feeding this to the ducks. You can feed it pretty much anything. And it's non-medicated, so let me turn this back around. And it's non-medicated, so it's safe for most everything. I think that it would probably be okay for goats too. We haven't given it to our goats because I try not to feed them in the summertime. They can eat, they're meant to eat. They're meant to eat all this and go forage, so they just need to go do that. So that's where we store their food. That's where the water is. Show you their little house. We're gonna get some today. It's been so rainy. Even their shavings, they've kind of made a mess of those and dug those in. But this was a little hut that my parents were using to cover their grill. We cut the legs off and buried just a couple posts and at the front, and you can see they have a roof. It's ventilated, and they can get completely out of the sun and out of the rain and that kind of thing. In the winter time, we might have to enclose it if we do get the female or another male, but for now it's perfect for summer. And like I said, they have made all kinds of fun ruts and holes. We actually, if you can see where that bowling ball is, they've played with it a little bit, but we actually had a big hole dug right there for them to play in, and they filled it in and made bigger holes in other places. So they've had a blast. For now, you can see the nasty flies, sorry. So this feeder, we found the plans for it on YouTube on Pinterest. We found the plans for this on Pinterest. And we just are able to lift up the lid here and fill their feed. They don't hit those screws, so we need to cut them out, but they don't hit those because they just stand outside. No, it's not food time yet. And I will pause this and walk around and show you. Okay, so now you can see we were on the back side of that a while ago. There's the 2 waters, one on either side. You can see the little nipples that they drink from right there. Hopefully it'll focus. And then you can see the pigs. So we feed them from the top and they eat from the bottom. We do want to change out the lids there at some point because it's too heavy. That particular piece of plywood we had just laying around, and it's really too heavy for them to lift up. So we want to put something different, something a little bit lighter there, so that it'll close, so that they can't. Maybe they probably still will get in there, but you know. What else? Let's see. So like I said, we've had these 4 pigs for a little over almost 2 months. And you can tell. Yeah, you can tell for sure that they are super happy to be here. Paisley, the farm manager, absolutely loves them. She did not like it when we would not let her come up to the fence so that she could see them. I'm sure she would love to come and run and play in here, but since she's an inside dog, that's never going to happen, or at least I pray it doesn't. All right, so that's pretty much it as far as our hogs and the hogs that we have out here. We'd love to hear about your hog setups. How do you go about housing yours, feeding yours? Have you come up with any clever ways to feed them or give them treats? Oh, that's something else I'll show you. Hold on just a second. Let's walk back over here. Okay, well, they think there's something in it, so I'll wait for them to back off a minute. So we use this little bowl. It's a tire, an old tire that we weren't using anymore. And we found this bowl that goes down in the tire at our local Atwoods. I'm sure that other places, even Amazon, I'll check Amazon and see if I can link it on there. But I'm sure you could get them anywhere. But we use these for any kind of scraps that we're going to give them, or treats. I throw grass in there a couple times a day just so that they get roughage. We're actually going to add another one because you can tell, like when they first walked up here a while ago, or if you saw the video last week, they to crowd around it, and they're so big they've been fighting. And I don't want anybody getting hurt in the making of the pigs. So they will probably get another one of those as time goes on, and we'll just spread out the different scraps and whatever it is that we throw in there. But other than that, that is our pig pen. That's the setup. That's how we have gone about it. We are really, really genuinely enjoying them. It took a long time for me to convince my husband that we could handle this, that they would be okay. And once we got the setup fully put together, he was finally on board, and it has been a blast. They're so much fun to watch. Do the pigs smell? That's going to be a question somebody asks. They do. They have a smell, yes, especially right now because it's been so wet in Oklahoma, and so you got the combination of their smell alone and then the mud in general. If you've been around it very much, you know mud smells. It's not enough that it deters me though from having them. We put the pelletized lime in here, and we did it the first time and it really helped, and then they kind of rooted up, so we added a little bit more to kind of mix in, and I think that it's worked wonders. I really, really, really do. And then I think once it dries out a little bit, it'll be even better because like I said, just mud alone smells. So if you have any questions, if there's anything you'd like me to show you extra, please leave a comment below. We'd love to hear about your experience with pigs, how you go about that, how you keep them out of trouble, and what you do for food and water, and keeping them cool in the summer and that kind of thing. Otherwise, we hope you stick around for the next video. The next one's going to be a little bit exciting. Our daughter is getting a very special surprise in the next video. You probably are getting a glimpse of it behind me, but you have to wait for the next one to hear all about that. And in the meantime, we hope that you'll stick around. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can hear all about our farming adventures in the future. Have a great day, y'all.